Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, we discuss a 28-piece titanium limited edition launched in 2019 from Parmigiani Fleurier. This is the Kalpagraphe Chronomet Titanium. The Kalpa form factor first debuted back in 2001. The Kalpagraphe Chronomet in precious metal debuted in 2018, and the next year we got this beautiful Media Blast titanium skeleton dial variant. This is a 28-piece edition in titanium with the skeletonized dial featuring blue accents. So the watch is big. There's no way around that. From lug tip to lug tip, it has a hell of a wingspan. 58 millimeters, 14.1 millimeters thick, and then per Parmigiani, 40.1 millimeters from side to side, though I suspect if you were to measure at the crowns, it would be broader than that at the lugs as well. Now, the watch being as large as it is too big for my wrist, and you can see that quite plainly. Although it would sit, taking a look at the edge, the acid test of the location of the lugs beyond the edge of my wrist, and you could see that well from over the top too, but down the barrel is always the true angle, and it just doesn't quite fit. So I'd say you need a wrist of 17 centimeters circumference, preferably 18 and up, to wear this really well. That said, it does have a sloped flank. It probably would fit underneath a big cuff on a big wrist. It's not excessively heavy, though it's not as toy-like as you might imagine for something comprised mostly of rubber, sapphire, and titanium. It does have a little bit of a heft to it. The strap is fully integrated, and as you can see, it matches the inward angling of the lugs. So though I did measure the space between the lugs at 28 millimeters, that's the measurement at the root. It's a little bit different at the end of the lugs. So you're going to have to go with an OEM strap or get something custom cut. This is, by the way, an OEM strap. You can see that there are little strakes in the bottom, hollows that make the strap more pliant, also allow it to breathe. As these straps go, this is quite thin, very supple, very flexible, quite a few individual apertures or perforations for the pin, so you have a large degree of adjustability here. There's some character lines and a little bit of a differential texture towards the end, and then a recess in the edge of the case to allow full integration, so no daylight between these surfaces. A twin trigger release here. You press the triggers and it pops open. So the trigger release makes it a little bit more secure on the wrist. You can see the design of the buckle itself echoing the design of the lugs. And then we've got a little brilliant micro adjustment system here. Actually, you could slide it in and out. And the way that works is you have these little detents here, and then you can change the adjustment by moving this in and out to fine-tune the fit. So a nice little way that you can make finer changes if you do wind up in between the perforations from a sizing standpoint. This is all matte titanium, so very similar to what you just saw. And just to make absolutely clear, you're able to lock and unlock this mechanism for the sake of making adjustments. You do not need to use, for example, a screwdriver, even though it looks like these are screws for the sake of releasing and fixing this mechanism. This can actually be adjusted without a screwdriver. You just need to keep the little color-coded ends in mind. I'll demonstrate how this works. And that fixes it in place. Okay. The crown, Parmigiani branded, all Media Blast, an unusual treatment to see on the entirety of a watch. Now, the watch has a sort of skeleton dial on top of a movement whose engine turning is visible straight through the perforations. You can also see that there's a sort of blue grill that exists under the anthracite upper dial. And then we have 3 registers, including the running seconds down at 6 o'clock with chronograph minutes and chronograph hours. Note a very subtle concentric pattern or azurage within these hollows. Also note the unique single-sided second scale where you have a double index spinner, and then you have one varnished, one polished, and each one of a different length to trace a different 30-second span, the first 30 and then the second 30 of a minute. We do have a vertical clutch system here, so if you wish to leave your chronograph running full-time, there's no additional wear and tear. Also with the vertical clutch, there's no jump, stagger, or leap when you start it, because unlike a lateral clutch, a vertical clutch has no extra play. Also a column wheel, so it's a crisp action. You can see on the reverse, Column wheel is polished and also made visible, has a very crisp action. Other things to note, I know people always ask, so let's take a look. The loom shot is very minimal. And then the watch is 30 meters water resistant, so sweat and perspiration, you're fine. You don't necessarily want to swim with this watch though. Fire the chronograph up again so I can demonstrate the hacking seconds mechanism. Stop the watch, synchronize to a reference time. And then I have the ability to quick set the date. We'll go all the way around so you can see where indices are used. We do have that red 1, and then every even day is an index, and every odd day is a numeral. Turn it all over. Now, this is based on the seed VMF 6710, but the movement has been redesigned, so all the functional mechanism is still at the center, but you could see that some of the extended structure of the movement has now been shaped to fill this case back. So again, everything that functionally is relevant, from the power supply to the chronograph mechanism, the date wheel, the balance, the oscillator, the winding system, it's all in the center. But we do have this extended sort of bridge on the outer reaches of the movement so that its new measurement as a shaped and sized caliber is now 39.7 by 31.9. So it's a big movement. It fills its case back, but even so, all of the functional parts are in the donut hole at the center. Now, taking a look, you can see we have an unusual application of a platinum mass for the rotor. So this rotor features 3 different finishes: beveling, a guilloche, and then satination. And so it is a blackened platinum rotor. Black platinum, not something you see too often. Zenith has done it, Erwerk has done it, but here we have it on a Parmigiani rotor. Platinum is important because it's more massive than gold, and it creates a more efficient winding system. You can also see we have ceramic ball bearings for greater efficiency. It's a 5 hertz beat rate, so like a Zenith El Primero, 10 beats per second, 36,000 vibrations per hour, all pivots on 42 joules. This is the PF362 movement. Again, it's based on the VMF 6710. It's got a full balance bridge and a free sprung balance for shock resistance. Column wheel and a vertical clutch, 5-position high horology adjustment, also the chronometer standard. I don't know how well you can see this, but the anglage is mirrored and rounded, so this is high horology decoration. We have lovely stripes across the bridges. You can see we have snailing below that plane. All screw heads are polished with chamfered slots in circumference. There's satination on wheels, and the decor overall is becoming of an expensive watch from an upscale brand, and it is a COSC certified Swiss chronometer, so there is lots to love. You just need a big watch for a big wrist, and you'll find the perfect match with this Kalpagraphe Chronomet T10. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.